there was one quintessential post-modern Carp era rig that rings my bells and blows my whistles, it's that one. That, my friend, is the proper hinge stiff rig. It's a nylon boom with loops at either end to give it a little bit of movement. It's a lovely chod rig version type hook section on the end, which is what's developed into various variations, whether you tie it on with an Albright so it's really low, or fish it on a chod rig. You know, that end section is the dream. It rotates and twists when the fish comes out, whatever direction it comes from. It's a hero rig, let's be honest. It's God's rig. So if you're fishing it on different lead arrangements, this is one of the key pieces of information that people need to know. On a helicopter rig like this lovely one here, all you need is a nice fluorocarbon like our Mirage, or trick link, which blends in with virtually everything, loop at either end, and your hook section on the end. Nice and slow sinking. It will reset and lie out beautifully every time. And resetting is one of the key things of rigs. Certainly is with this one. Every time a fish comes up to it, gives it a little nudge, rolls on it even. They power dive on the baits, for God's sake. Every time they do that, then you know that it's going to reset and be there prone, ready to take action. The other thing that needs saying is if you're fishing over a scruffy bottom, or if I can get this bad boy, it's a sharp hook. If you're fishing on scruffy bottom or with a lead clip, definitely prefer the old metal Mickey version. All that's different, rather than a loop, little flexi ring on the bottom of the hook section, and a lovely supple hook link material like ultra skin. Just holds enough stiffness to lay the hook bait out when it's nice and balanced. But say the lead plug's in the bottom, or there's a bit of scruff on the bottom, it'll lay down over the top of it and be a lot more inconspicuous, and a lot about feel, you know. The fish is nudging about in the darkness and it comes across something unnatural feeling, might just put it on edge. You might go, whoa there, I ain't ever none of that. But in this case, it feels natural, it feels nice, and you don't end up with the hook bait kicked off the bottom being held up by a stiff bristle filament. So there's a quick tip for you. So just in case you missed it while I was gibbering, lead clips, nice soft boom section on a metal Mickey, same end section, still going to be mega effective. On a helicopter rig, it's definitely worth going for the nylon to avoid anti-tangling, or to get anti-tangling. So how do we tie them? The end section on all these things, including the chod rig, is essentially the same. It's a straight point hook with either a slightly out-turned eye like on our chod pattern, or a straight eye like our incisor. Kicks the angle of the line coming out the inside of the eye just right angle to make the hook rotate. Using a stiff bristle filament type product like our wonderful tripwire, you can add a little bit of a curve into it, which again makes that hook spin the moment that it touches the fish's lip, and that's why it's so good. You end up with pucker hook holes right in the back in the sizzles, or dead centre in the map, and that's that gentle curve. Fishing them about 1.5 inches up to 2.5 inches is about as good as you can get, and have it so that it's nice and slow sinking. It's important that when the bait's been out in the pond for a while, the hook link doesn't start drooping over slightly, because then it doesn't want to turn. You need good pop-ups, something like with a Gardner 12mm cork ball inside for real consistency. And what you'll find is your baits will stay out there. In the morning, they'll be fishing just as well as they were in the evening. So I'll quickly run you through how to tie the critical end section. The hook section is beyond doubt the most important. Get yourself out a size 5 or 6 chod hook, and you can either do a knotless knot, or I prefer a snell, which is a whipping knot. It's a little bit more fiddly, but you end up with the hook link coming out dead in line with the angle of the shank of the hook. Keeps everything nice and straight. Whip that on. Probably 7 or 8 turns is about right on the length of the shank we're working with, and use the tag that's left on the hook end to mount a small rig ring on. We use the large or the extra large, that's 3mm ID or 4mm internal diameter, and just push the end of the filament, the trip wire, back through the eye and blob it to keep it in place. Then you've got the choice of, do you tie in a size 12 swivel or a flex ring swivel? Well, that just depends on which hook link material option you're going for. use a flexi ring size 12 if you're going to go with the ultra skin boom, and use just a standard size 12 covert swivel if you're tying a loop. The loop just gives it that little bit more movement and helps the hook react really fast when the fish inhales the rig in. And there you have it. Essentially, the perfect resetting, no tangling, catch a carp. And if there was one rig going into the future that I was conditioned that I had to use, I think I'd always go back to this, the Hinged stiff rig. It's God's rig. It's a magical thing.